today on Rappler. The Senate urges the International Criminal Court to place former President Rodrigo Duterte under house arrest for quote-unquote humanitarian considerations. At least 65 people have been killed and more than 200 are injured after a magnitude 6.9 earthquake hit Cebu province in central Philippines on Tuesday, September 30. The Department of Agriculture finds at least 9 suspected ghost farm-to-market road projects in Mindanao. The first BARMM parliamentary election is postponed as the Supreme Court declares laws reorganizing districts unconstitutional. And Vico, Sotto, and Manny Jacinto are on Time's list of the world's most influential rising stars. The Senate urges the International Criminal Court to place former President Rodrigo Duterte under house arrest for quote-unquote humanitarian considerations. It adopts Senate Resolution number 144, where it urges the ICC to designate a physician for Duterte. 15 senators vote in favor of the resolution, 3 vote against it, while 2 abstain. 4 senators are absent.
Hindi po to politika, hindi dahil ganito ganyan. Walang political color to. It's just for humanitarian reasons, Mr. President.
Hindi bago nung sinabi ng Panginoon Jesucristo, love your enemies, pray for them, pray for people who prosecute you.
Kung tunay ngang may sakit ang dating Pangulo, hindi ba't ang solusyon ay dalhin sila sa ospital sa The Hague, Netherlands, habang binibigyan ng angkop na tulong at suporta mula sa Philippine Embassy doon?
Libo-libo ang pinatay. Libo-libo pa ang nawalan ng ama, ng ina, ng anak, na ang hiling ay hustisya.
If the findings indicate that continued detention would worsen his medical condition, the resolution appeals to the ICC to consider placing him under house arrest instead. Sources privy to the discussion told Rappler the decision on the Senate resolution was reached during an all-member caucus on Tuesday night, September 30. But the approved resolution is unlikely to impact Duterte's case as jurisdiction lies with the ICC. Despite that, it is viewed as an attempt to signal that the Senate supports Duterte. Duterte awaits hearing for confirmation of charges, which was postponed last September 23 because his counsel claimed he was medically unfit to attend. At least 65 people have been killed after a magnitude 6.9 earthquake hit Cebu province in central Philippines on Tuesday, September 30. The Cebu Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office reports the figure as of 3:40 p.m. on Wednesday, October 1. The agency also says at least 293 individuals have been injured as of 3:54 p.m. The province is now under a state of calamity as the national and local governments mobilize agencies to search for survivors and restore power and water supply. Near the epicenter of the quake was Bogo City, where structures were severely damaged and buildings collapsed. Civil Defense official Rafi Alejandro says the hospital in Bogo has been overwhelmed as victims continue to pour in. Meantime, the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, or NGCP, places the entire Visayas grid under yellow alert. This after 11 more power plants were forced offline in the wake of the earthquake. The grid operator says in a statement, the affected plants' protection systems recorded abnormalities following the quake, prompting the forced shutdowns. The Agriculture Department has found at least 9 suspected ghost farm-to-market road projects in Mindanao, worth an estimated 126 million pesos as part of an ongoing audit. DA spokesperson Arnel de Mesa says the audit covers more than 4,700 projects from 2021 to 2025 and will be completed by year-end. Nearly 3,000 projects have so far been verified as completed. 7 of the projects are in Davao Occidental and 2 are in Lanao del Sur. De Mesa adds a kilometer cost 12 million pesos before 2022 and the cost increased to 15 million pesos from 2022 onwards. This makes 3 projects supposedly constructed before 2022 and 6 other projects after, worth an estimated 126 million pesos. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. ordered an audit of farm-to-market roads following allegations of corruption in flood control projects. The Supreme Court declares Bangsamoro Autonomy Acts 58 and 77 unconstitutional, effectively postponing the first parliamentary elections in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao set for October 13. The High Court orders the Commission on Elections to resume preparations and hold elections not later than March 31, 2026. It also directs the Bangsamoro Transition Authority to determine distribution of district parliamentary seats by October 30, 2025. BAA 58 created the parliamentary districts in the region, while BAA 77, passed last August, amended BAA 58, redistributing Sulu's 7 seats. The COMELEC previously stopped preparations for the polls after the SC issued a temporary restraining order against the implementation of BAA 77. COMELEC Chairman George Garcia says, quote, "It's back to zero for COMELEC, but in the meantime, the ball is in the hands of the Bangsamoro Parliament. We shall be waiting for their action and compliance." Pasig City Mayor Vico Sotto and Filipino-Canadian actor Manny Jacinto are on Time Magazine's Time 100 Next, a list of the world's most influential rising stars. In Time's profile of Sotto, written by Rappler CEO and 2021 Nobel Peace Laureate Maria Ressa, she describes how the young mayor, now on his third and final term, has been battling corruption in his city in the heart of the nation's capital. She also recalls how Sotto addressed the COVID-19 pandemic based on need, not political loyalty. Sotto has been widely viewed as a symbol of young leadership and clean governance the country needs. He helped expose corruption involving his opponent in this year's mayoral race, contractor Sara Diskaya. Meantime, producer Alan Yang cites Jacinto's incredible range as an actor. Disney describes Jacinto as a man who can do it all in the movie Freakier Friday, while Tatler Asia says Jacinto is an actor who is redefining the portrayal of Asian men in Hollywood. And that's today's wrap. I'm JC Gotinga. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok.